It happened on a quiet Tuesday morning in a suburban neighborhood just outside Phoenix. I had just stepped out to check my mail when a man in a security-style uniform approached me. Badge, radio, even a utility belt. He looked official. Too official. Before I could ask who he was, he pulled a gun, aimed it at my chest and barked, "Step back!" What he didn't know was, I'm an FBI agent, and his day was about to go very wrong. I didn't flinch. Years of fieldwork had trained me to stay calm under pressure, even with a loaded weapon inches from my heart. But this guy, whoever he was, had no idea what he was doing. His grip was sloppy, his stance all wrong. He wasn't law enforcement. He was playing dress up, and I was the wrong target. I said, "Step back," he repeated, louder this time. He was sweating. His eyes darted around like he was expecting backup, or maybe just hoping I'd panic. I raised my hands slowly, not because I was afraid, but because I needed him to think I was. Let the predator feel in control. That's when they get careless. "You with the HOA?" I asked calmly. He hesitated. That half-second pause told me everything. No real cop ever hesitates when you ask who they work for. "Don't worry about that," he snapped. "Just show me your ID. Now." That was his second mistake. The first was pointing a gun at me. I shifted slightly, just enough to draw his attention to my movement, my right hand lowering, deliberately slow. He followed it, gun still trembling. That's when I moved. One clean step forward, a twist of the wrist, and his weapon was out of his hands before he even realized what was happening. He screamed, but I was already behind him, locking his arm in a textbook submission hold. The fake badge fell from his chest. Plastic. "You just assaulted a federal agent," I said in his ear, cold as steel. "Tell me who sent you. Now." And that's when I saw it. A mark inked on the inside of his wrist. A symbol I hadn't seen in years. My blood ran cold. This wasn't just some nut with a fake uniform. This was something bigger. I tightened my grip as he squirmed beneath me, trying to wriggle free, but I had him locked. No way out. The tattoo on his wrist. It was a triangle inside a broken circle, with jagged lines cutting through it like lightning bolts. I hadn't seen that mark since the Seattle case in '09. Back then, it was tied to a fringe group, ex-military off-grid types. Anti-government, highly trained, and extremely dangerous. I leaned closer. "You've got 5 seconds to start talking before I drag you into a black SUV, and you disappear for a very long time." He chuckled. "You're too late," he hissed. "They're already here." I froze. I scanned the street. Perfectly still. Too still. No sprinklers. No dogs barking. Not a single car had passed in the last 10 minutes. Something was off. Then I saw it. A white van, parked 3 houses down. No logos. Tinted windows. I'd passed it on my way out. Hadn't thought twice. Now I saw the condensation near the exhaust. Still running. "Stay down," I growled, pressing his face to the pavement. I reached for my comm dispatch. "This is Agent Carter. Badge 735 Zulu. Code Black. I've got one in custody. Possible infiltration team in the area. Requesting immediate backup and air surveillance." The line crackled. No response. Dead. Then the van doors slid open. 3 figures stepped out, all dressed the same, fake utility vests, radios clipped to their shoulders, but no badges, no names. Just like him. One of them carried something that didn't belong in a neighborhood. A scoped rifle wrapped in cloth. Another was holding what looked like a jamming device. I grabbed the imposter by the collar and yanked him to his feet. using him as partial cover. "Tell them to stand down," I said. "They won't," he whispered, smiling through a bloodied lip. "You're not the target. You're the message." That's when everything clicked. I wasn't the one in danger. Someone else was. Someone nearby. Someone I wasn't supposed to protect. And I was already too late. I made my move. Dragging the imposter by the collar, I ducked behind a parked SUV just as a sharp crack split the air. The pavement where we just stood exploded in a spray of concrete chips. A sniper. Suppressed but powerful. Not amateurs. I yanked the guy up, shoved him against the tire well. "Who are they targeting?" He laughed again, even as blood from a split eyebrow trickled down his cheek. "Your badge doesn't mean anything here, Agent. You don't even know whose neighborhood you're in." My eyes darted back toward the van. One figure knelt, adjusting what looked like a small drone on the pavement. A red LED blinked to life. I cursed under my breath. If they were deploying recon, that meant the operation was entering its second phase. The first was always a distraction. Me. They wanted my attention on them so I wouldn't notice the real hit going down. I scanned the row of houses. Perfect lawns. Waving flags. Every garage closed. Every window still. But something about the blue house 2 doors down tugged at my gut. Third floor blinds. Slightly tilted. Movement behind the curtain. Too smooth. Someone watching, maybe filming. I tapped into my emergency channel. Still dead. I had no choice. I bolted, using the imposter's body like a shield until I reached the hedges lining the blue house. A second shot fired, missed me by inches, took a chunk out of the mailbox instead. Heart pounding, I kicked the side gate open and swept around to the back. The door was ajar. Not kicked, not broken. Unlocked. Too easy. I slipped inside, Glock raised. The air smelled like lemon cleaner. Too clean. No photos on the walls. No clutter. It was staged. A safe house. And not one of ours. From upstairs, the floor creaked. I crept up the steps, keeping my back to the wall. Another creak. Then a voice, female, calm, clipped with a slight accent. "Not American." "Don't come up here, Agent Carter," she said. "It's already done." My blood turned to ice. I reached the landing, turned the corner, and froze. A child, no older than 10, sitting on the floor, hands zip-tied, tears running down his cheeks. Standing behind him was the woman, dressed in black, hair tied tight, no weapon in hand. But her calm smile chilled me more than any gun ever could. "This boy," she said softly, "is the son of someone very important, someone your government swore never existed." She stepped back, hands raised. "You can arrest me if you want, but just know, every second you waste here, 2 more teams move closer to your people." Then she looked at the boy. "Say goodbye, Alex." And the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the hallway. I dropped to one knee instinctively, gun raised, listening. The boy whimpered somewhere ahead in the black. No footsteps, no breathing. I switched to infrared. Dead static. The jamming was still active. Then I heard it, the back door slamming open downstairs. Reinforcements. Heavy boots. My backup? Or another team? No time to wait. I rushed forward, reached the child by instinct. Small frame. Still breathing. I slashed the zip ties and whispered, "Stay down. Don't move." A flash of movement to my left, too fast, too fluid. She was already gone. Down the hallway, A second-floor window swung open. I reached it just in time to see her leap onto the roof of the garage and disappear into the neighboring yard, vanishing like smoke. Outside, sirens finally pierced the quiet. My backup had arrived, 2 black Suburbans skidding into position, agents pouring out in full tactical gear. One of them caught sight of me in the window and signaled. I lifted the boy into my arms and carried him downstairs as the house filled with agents. The jamming was over. My radio crackled back to life. Target secured. 1 hostile escaped. Request medevac and child protection unit. The boy clung to me, still trembling. "You're okay now," I said softly. "No one's going to hurt you." But deep down, I knew it wasn't over. Outside, I handed him off to the medics. My supervisor, Director Larkin, approached. Her face was grim. "You know who the woman was?" she asked. I nodded. "XGRU. Ghost Protocol. We thought she was dead." "She isn't," Larkin said. "And this was just a test." I looked back at the house, at the fake cop now zip-tied on the lawn, at the van, abandoned, clean. "She said the boy's father doesn't exist," I murmured. Larkin nodded. "We believe she meant Project Atlas." I froze. That project had been buried for over a decade. Deep black. So deep, even I barely knew what it was. Only whispers. Only rumors. "Pack your bag," Larkin said. "We're reopening the file. And this time, we don't just want names." I looked out over the neighborhood. Perfect, peaceful, plastic. And somewhere out there, the woman was still running. But now I was chasing.